back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. LeBron James has not been the best player in the NBA since 2015 or in the 2020s, right? So in that little period of the 210s from 2015 and then from the 2020s, LeBron has not been the best player. And shouts out to Two Raw for TV. He did a little piece on this today, and I was going to talk about it anyways, because I've been making comments in my videos about these things. And he, talked about Curry versus LeBron, who's been the best player, and since Curry really has been a great player. I think his was since 2015. And yes, shouts out to Two Raw for TV. And a lot of people ask me what channels do I watch, and I watch, of course, Two Raw for TV and Sports and Fitness Rants and Scap Attack and Old Angry Old Hoops and what's this guy's name? I can't remember his name. Uncut Hoops. Basically, guys like this. That's pretty much all I watch. It might be one more. There's some other guys out there, but not too many. And I really didn't even watch sports channels on let's just say channels on YouTube dealing with sports until I saw Two Raw for TV, and I really liked his content. He was real versatile, and he had different channels and stuff like that. And I really liked his channels. He gave it to you raw, and he's just a classic dude. In his approach, and he doesn't say a lot of stuff that he used to say because of YouTube. They like to, if you say certain things, they won't put your channels out there, or put your views out there and stuff like that. But, he still gives it to us raw. So he kind of did something on this earlier. And I've been saying a lot of things that he's been saying, but even more. So let's talk, before we talk about what's on the screen, let's talk about this. Let's think about how Curry did a back-to-back championship on LeBron James. Back-to-back championships on LeBron James. Imagine somebody doing that on Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan's supposed to be the face of the league. A back-to-back on Michael Jordan. And it took for Draymond Green to get suspended for Curry not to do a three-peat on him. Now, some people can say, in 2015, Love and Kyrie got hurt, and they're right. So there is technicalities in a lot of things. But still yet, Curry did do a two-peat on LeBron's head. Okay? And I don't want to hear nothing about, they didn't have Kyrie. Well, you're exposing how weak that East was. Again, when we say that, that means LeBron had no business in the finals, right? It's like when he got swept in 2007. What happened? He had no business in the finals. That's just how it is to me. Really, if you get swept in the finals and you really had no business in the finals. And I know other teams might have got swept, but that's just the case. You had no business. And for LeBron, and he wasn't even a number one seed in the East that year when he went in 2018. He knew he was going to get the business. So why'd you go to the finals? Well, he went to the finals because it was really no competition in that East. So that exposes his run to the final. Also, it's kind of like Michael Jordan. I don't think he's going to make it to the finals without Scottie Pippen. Shaq ain't going to make it to the finals without Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade. And you can go to some other trios or whatever, or duos or whatever you want to say. But that's just the facts. So LeBron had no business being in the finals without Kyrie, but the East was that weak. So also, we don't want to hear nothing about, he had Kevin Durant. Again, I've been saying this. It's a different standard for Kevin Durant. A different standard. Kevin Durant went to the Warriors. That's after LeBron had already built two super teams. Two super teams, but yet ESPN, Fox, and other media outlets act like what Kevin Durant did was worse than what LeBron did. It's not even mentioned as anything bad what LeBron did. It's not even mentioned. He's not praised for it by the media, but it's almost like it was second nature, like it wasn't a big thing. And after he taunted the entire NBA, all they'll say is that, oh man, he had one bad moment in the finals. He melted down in 2011. No, he melted down in '07. No, just didn't melt down in the 2011 finals. He taunted the league with a super team and then melted down in the finals. First of all, how did you taunt the league after you did such a thing? Took the power out the East with two of the top five players in the East, and then you taunt the East? So how come he didn't taunt the East when he was with Cleveland the first time? Why he didn't do that? How come he didn't taunt him? He had the number one seed back to back. So why he didn't taunt the league then? And I told you guys what the deal was. When LeBron was in Cleveland the first time, he was not a bad guy. Kobe told us that. I will put that video up back. I'll put that video up again. LeBron, like Kobe said, LeBron was the funny guy. LeBron liked to make everybody laugh. And LeBron, he liked to be loved. He didn't want to be the villain. But once he knew he wasn't clutch, right? When he lost in 2009, 2010 playoffs, he knew he could never be clutch. So he had no other option than to do what he did and build that super team in Miami and become the villain. So ever since then, he has been, to much of real NBA fans, a villain. Which again, we're not understanding how a villain, one of the guys that's the most hated outside of his fans in the controlled media, how could that person be the face of the NBA? The face of the NBA should be loved. So he chose to be a villain because he knew what was going to happen when he went over there. It don't matter if he taunted the NBA with not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. Even if he would not have did that, he still would have been a villain for what he did. He was the next face of the NBA behind Kobe. So the next face of the NBA don't build super teams to win their first championships. And ultimately, not only did Kobe win back-to-back championships and go to 3 straight championships without Shaq, who needed to build a super team in Miami to win a super team without Kobe, but Kobe beat LeBron's competition that LeBron couldn't beat in the East, while LeBron was a number 1 seed. And those 2 teams he got beat by was a 3 and 4 seed. Let's don't forget, folks. That Boston team was old. When they got together, they was like 10 years plus into their career. It was broken down. I'm not gonna say Paul Pierce was broken down, but none of these guys, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and who is it? Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. These guys weren't winning MVPs in 2008, 2009, 2010. These guys were over the hill, and that's why they built this little super team. And only had the number 1 seed one time. LeBron James, who had the number 1 seed in 2009, 2010, who had zero help. You guys said he didn't have no help. Was able to get the number 1 seed over Boston in Orlando in 2009, 2010. So yes, before we go on, LeBron has been playing this villain of the league, plus being the face of the league. How is that possible? This is what you want for your league? And this is what LeBron chose to win championships. Yeah, so that's what Curry did. Went to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4 straight finals on LeBron's watch. Won 3 finals and beat LeBron back-to-back in 2 of those finals. And like we said, we don't care about Kevin Durant. Durant was just another piece, just another great player. He ain't no great rebounder. He ain't no great leader. He's a great scorer. Next, speaking of great scorer, like they've been saying, Kevin Durant is they say he's the greatest scorer of all time. That's what Perk said. We know that's not true, but we know he's probably the greatest scorer in the LeBron era. Curry is the greatest shooter in the LeBron era. So where does that leave LeBron? We know he's not the greatest defensive player in his era. Next, talk about this. And it's just not about Curry. And this isn't just about 2015. Let's talk about the fact that, well, let's talk about this first. Curry, without a super team, has 2 championships. That's right. Curry didn't go play with other teams' number 1 franchise players when he won those 2 championships. LeBron, 0 championships without a super team. Yes, Dwight Howard would make that a super team. And it was because of Dwight Howard they end up getting past Denver and Joker in the bubble. Dwight Howard wasn't there, and they didn't have those twin towers with AD and Howard. Not one. So that's a super team, folks. Especially when you're playing in the bubble. There's no competition, and you're playing in the bubble because nobody wanted to play. People was hurt. They had all this time off, and we won't even get into the bubble. But yes, again, LeBron, 0 championships without a super team. Curry, 2. Even if you want to say Dwight Howard don't make them a super team still. LeBron, 1 championship without a super team, and Curry, 2. That's the facts. But still, we all know, real basketball fans, LeBron has 0 championships without a super team. Right? Next, what I want to talk about, like I said, it doesn't just relate to the NBA or since 2015. Let's talk about this. Kevin Durant won gold without LeBron James. Let me give it to you again. Kevin Durant won gold without LeBron James. Curry won gold for LeBron James. Yes, he was a clutch player in the championship game. And if Curry never shows up, I'm not too sure they win that gold. Kobe won gold for LeBron James. So let me ask you, when has LeBron ever won the gold medal? Or FIBA, really, if you want to be real. When has LeBron won the gold medal without Kobe, Kevin Durant, or Steph Curry? Never. And he had a chance when the next Michael Jordan, the fraud, Anthony Edwards, who can't even put up 35 points per game in this weak, soft era, lost in the 23 FIBA and couldn't even bring home gold against the fake Rondo Schroeder. If I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong. I thought they won the gold in the FIBA or whatever they get. So you're trying to tell me that the next Michael Jordan couldn't beat those plumbers and the rest of the plumbers in the FIBA when he had Ingram, Halliburton, Paolo Banchero, if that's his name, and some other guys. Couldn't win. Brunson couldn't even place and get a medal. The next Michael Jordan. So we won't keep talking about Anthony Edwards, but the fact is, LeBron was the first one to raise his hand and say he want to go to the Olympics. Okay? And of course, here comes Kevin Durant and Steph Curry to save him, right? Can't really blame Curry to an extent because he never went to the Olympics, which is crazy to me, but that he never been before. But the fact is, LeBron, after he raised his hand, could have been like, look, I'm the face of the league. I'm LeBron. I'm supposed to be the greatest player of all time. They celebrated him like he won the gold medal this year. So tell me this. Why couldn't he take that 23 FIBA team under his wings with Paolo Banchero, that's his name, Brunson, Ingram, Halliburton, these guys? How come he couldn't take those guys under his wing and bring gold back? Why he couldn't do that? Could you imagine a 39, 40-year-old Michael Jordan wanting to go to the Olympics to try to prove something. He went to one of those dream teams and was done because he was focused on winning championships. He was focused on the next season, you know, basically trying to catch Kareem, trying to catch Magic, trying to do what he could to catch Bill Russell and these guys. He was trying to build his legacy on winning championships, not winning gold medals. He already did that. He won 3 gold medals in college and 1 in the NBA. It was a wrap. I just can't even imagine that. Him telling, you know, cause when we look at the same ages almost, that would be like him telling, I don't know, whoever was still playing in the league. I think they still was. Him telling Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, John Stockton. Was Clyde Drexler still playing? I don't think he was still playing in the league. Scottie Pippen, guys like that. Let's go bring home the gold. Hey, why not? I mean, the next season, basically the next season, this is when they're claiming the world caught up to them, right? When not one melanated brother, like Stephen A. likes to say, brother. How come he didn't say that back then? No, he didn't have a show. But he should still be saying it today. Talking about not one melanated brother was on that Argentina team and beat LeBron James. And Dwayne Wade. And Chris Bosh. And Anthony, what's his name? I forget his name. Carmelo Anthony. Not one melanated brother was on the Argentina team with Manu Ginobili, who was a 6-man, and they still beat LeBron in the crew. Oh boy, so he's trying to even at 38-39. If look, Michael Jordan would have went and got Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, Karl Malone, and the rest of those guys I just named. I guess you would have to, you know, get some other guys because I don't think everybody was still playing. But still, yeah, I don't think Argentina would have beat old Michael Jordan and the rest of these guys, Scottie Pippen and Karl Malone and John Stockton and Chris Mullin. There's no way. No way. No way. Man, LeBron didn't get no playing time. Well, you just explained it. The guy was a liability his rookie season. Yeah, he was still young, man. The man was 18. Well, didn't the players get better? I thought players got better. These are the excuses that the LeBron fans use. One minute they're saying, oh, man, he was young. Next minute when he does something incredible, man, look what he did at this age. It's ridiculous with these guys. So the only reason why they beat Wemby because he was young in the Olympics, right? You guys are funny. So let's look at this. Since 2015, Curry, and we won't even look at the because this is kind of old as far as all NBA, but it's still the same on everything else, really. Since 2015, Curry, 4 MVPs, LeBron 2. No, I'm sorry. 4 championships for Curry, LeBron 2. 2 MVPs back to back for Curry, 0 for LeBron. 1 Finals MVP for Curry, 2 for LeBron. All NBA, I told you we'd skip that. Curry, 2 scoring titles. LeBron, 0. LeBron ain't had a scoring title since 2008. I mean, that's just woo. Curry assist title. No, it's a steals title. I thought he had 2. I had to check that out. I thought Curry had 2. And LeBron 1 assist title. So who's been the best player or better player for the last 10 years in this league? It damn sure ain't LeBron. So we can definitely split it up between Curry. I don't know if we want to say Kevin Durant. He's got 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, even though he was riding the bus. Did he have a scoring title? I'm not for sure. But we can definitely say Joker is in there with the 3 MVPs and 1 championship and 1 Finals MVP. That's it, folks. They have put a villain as the face of the league since 2010, 11, since he went to Miami, a villain, right? And you don't have to be loved to be the face of the league, but you have to be respected. You have to be respected, right? And you carry yourself with dignity. You don't tell fans to go back to their boring lives. You don't make all these crazy statements. You don't build all these super teams with other teams' number one franchise players. See, I wasn't building super teams with just like some free agent or something like that, or building up his team through the draft like Curry, for the most part, or Joker, or Giannis. What everybody's still trying to scratch their head. What is really going on with this NBA? Because the color analysts, the play-by-play guys, they come on here and they lie every time LeBron James is playing the game. And I told you guys, every time these people say, we don't know how he's still doing this in year 22, what they mean is they're covering their butts for later on. We told you, we didn't know how he was doing this. So when a scandal comes out later on and something pops up when he retires, they're going to say, see, we said we didn't know how he was doing it. We didn't say how he was doing it. We said we don't know how he's doing it, which means we're saying we don't know how he's doing it because it's not possible, right? For him to be running the NBA courts fresh out of high school, going to playoffs, well, just the regular season, all these playoffs, all these finals, all the FIBA games, all the Olympic games. We don't know how it's possible. I was under the impression that, after the Olympics, okay, which was a fraud, because they put all the good teams in Group A, all the second best teams in Group B, and they put the United States in Group C, which was a worse group. Now, don't tell me about Serbia. They had one good player. It wasn't amongst Group A and Group B just because they had Joker in there. Yes, Joker made them good, but no. We're talking about talent for talent on teams. So we know that was a fraud. But after the Olympics, what I thought was this guy's going to come in and he's going to play a reduced role. Nope. And why I thought he was going to play a reduced role because it would take some of the heat off of him. Like, okay, play a reduced role. I'm in year 22. This really isn't possible. What I'm doing, having played all these games in the Olympics and FIBA, the finals, the regular season, the playoffs, all this. Nope. What he did was, I'm not going to take as many shots, but I'm going to just stat pad. I'm going to act like I'm the orchestrator, and you guys shoot. Let me get these assists. The rebounds are easy because I'm going to only get defensive rebounds because when the shot goes up, the offensive team this year is looking crazy. Or the game I seen them play the Spurs, it wasn't even a center in the middle for the most part. The Spurs would come down, and their center would start on the three-point line. Even when the Lakers came down, Anthony Davis would start at the key or the three-point line. So what it is, it's a fixed rigged game. And if you don't play along with the system, you can't play in the NBA. You can't play X's and O's. You can't play your own style of offense, which means the defense is always going to know what you're going to do. So again, when the ball goes up, he has nobody to contest as far as the offensive player. And then you got AD down there, and AD is going to let him get his rebounds. That's it. Fooling these young people on his greatness. He played in the more defensive league in the 2000s. He wasn't amongst the great defenders or the great shooters. In the 2010s, when we supposedly started this greatest shooting era of all time, 2015 with Curry and Durant, he's not amongst the greatest shooters. And in 2020, it's just the greatest shooting era of all time because that's all they do is shoot threes, right? And yet he's still not amongst the greatest shooters. Although what I told you guys before, what's going to happen? He's going to try to change history, right? So he's going to sit out there and shoot all these uncontested threes because the way the game is played, they play like a bunch of idiots, right? Even though the whole thing looks rigged and fixed on how you play offense, there's nobody in the middle. So everybody's at the perimeter. So when one of the guys on the perimeter starts to go to the basket, now you leave one of the guys open, one of the offensive guys open at the 3-point line. And now another defender has to come off his guy because he's trying to get to the other guy at the 3-point line with the ball and leaves another guy open. Or that don't even have to happen this year for the most part. It's been going on for the last 2 years. But these fools will even double a dude at the top of the key and leave a guy open. It makes no sense. And mostly the reason why they do this because they spread the floor out so much and everybody's sitting at the 3-point line that when a guy starts to drive, yeah, another guy has to come and help because there's nobody in there to defend. Back in the day, if you drove, you basically almost had 2 defenders in there, which was a power forward and a center. So now, not only was you driving with a defender on you, now you're going to be met with resistance by the power forward and the center. And these guys aren't real defenders anyways. So when that guy's driving today, they're not real defenders. So when that guy is driving his man and nobody's in the middle, he can't really defend. So he needs one of his guys to come off the 3-point guy and help him. So for the most part, LeBron is shooting open threes. What else do you want me to say? I didn't really see him hit no three with the man on him last night. I saw him shoot threes with the dude on him, and he was breaking it up. Also, when I grew up watching basketball and what we call great shooters and great scorers, you didn't need all these pick and rolls at the top of the key on a smaller guy, or you didn't need to pick and roll to take your guy to the basket. This is what these guys need all day is pick and rolls to lose a guy so they can get open or so they can drive to the basket. I just never seen so many damn pick and rolls all damn game or just picks. It won't even be, a pick and roll to the basket, per se. That was the John Stockton and the Karl Malone and, other players did it too. But they didn't do it at a high level or do it as much as John Stockton and Karl Malone. But it was much to the basket a lot of times. But these guys just need a pick, period, just to get open, to shoot. Because these shots that they take, all these damn threes, it's not really possible for you to shoot threes with a guy in your face because it's a bad shot. Wemby was trying to do this all night and breaking it up. And the times that he did hit the three was off a pick and roll. It wasn't even a roll to the basket. It was just a pick, something like that. Pick and pop. That's what they call it, pick and pop. Because these guys, it's not possible to launch all these threes with a guy defending you straight up. So these aren't real shooters that can get their own shot. They need a pick so they can pop. I've seen great shooters. Even Scottie Pippen didn't even need a pick to shoot. He could take his defender. Most guys could. Isaiah Thomas. Hell, Magic Johnson. All these guys take their guy to the basket or just shoot over their guy. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these guys that played back in the day. This isn't some... These guys just don't have it like that, man. They're just not these good shooters that you think. A good shooter could take his guy to the basket, do some moves on him, don't have to stiff arm him in the forehead, the mouth, the chest, the stomach, all that stuff, and clear him out like LeBron does. Real great players don't have to. When did you see all these pick and pops and these picks so Allen Iverson could get to the bucket? Allen Iverson would lose you. As much as we hate on LeBron, he wasn't doing this in Cleveland. needed all these picks, or Miami, even though he was, using brute force to get to the damn basket and offensive fouling people. All this is new, man. All this pick and pop, pick and roll, because these guys don't have it like guys in the past. They don't have that kind of skill set to get their own shot. You think Michael Jordan or Kobe or Tracy McGrady or any of these guys in the past, we'd be looking at them as great players if they had to get a pick all day? This is stuff for like 3-point shooters, right? Guys who can only shoot one way. And even though I know Reggie Miller could hit the mid-range and he could take his guy off the dribble or whatever like that, a lot of his threes were running off of screens, running off of picks. Ray Allen. Curry does it a lot in his career. Even though he can get his own shot too. So yes, LeBron is the face of the league still. This is what's so sad, because he hasn't been the most dominant player, starting with not making defensive teams. Do you understand how horrible that is when we look at this and we say since 2015, there has always been do they do power forward and small forward? I'm not for sure. As far as position on the defensive teams, I'm not for sure. But let's just say they do. I'm not sure. There's a first team and second team. So since 2015, what is that? 9 years? Because they're going to come out with the teams this year. So for 9 years, there has been a player, and this is in LeBron's 30s. There has, what is this? That would be like since he was 30, right? There has been 2 players, when we count the first defensive team and the second defensive team, there has been 2 forwards that have been better defenders than him for all these years. All these years. See, a lot of guys just like make up his, oh man, he older now, man. What's the excuse back then? What was the excuse in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019? What was the excuse? That he can at least make a second defensive team. A second. So what is that? I don't know what the calculation is, but it seems like 18 players. Something like 18 players. If we go over that span, if we go by defensive first and second, that 18 players or something like that. Yeah, there are 18 players at that forward position have been better than him. Small forward position. And if they don't even do it by position, they just go on forward, period. What is that, like 36 players have been better defensively than him? That's crazy. Sometimes you guys don't think about, if you sit down and think about the overall picture and what they're trying to tell you about this guy's career, it's all bullish. It's all smoke and mirrors. Since 2014, what is that? 10 years? There's been a better guy than him in the league that has won an MVP, including Curry twice, including James Harden, including Westbrook, Giannis, Joker 3 times, Joel Embiid. Can't even remember all the rest of the names. You can't make this up, man. And he won 2 of his MVPs on super teams. The super teams that I was telling you about in the beginning that he taunted the league. How can you be the best player on a super team playing with other teams' #1 franchise players that were top 5 players in the East? How can you? What are they telling you? The NBA has been over since he went to Miami. It's been over. This guy hasn't accomplished nothing as what you would call the face of the league. Nothing as an all-time great player. Nothing. Zip, zilch, nothing since he went to Miami. When we factor in all the things I just said, the defensive teams, the MVPs, the super teams, the losing. I mean, do you understand? Before, when he won the championship in 2016, this guy was now 3-4. How about when he went to LA? He was 3-6. So he was a face of the league at 3-4. Hadn't won no MVP in 2016. Hadn't won the MVP since 2013. Hadn't made a defensive team since 2014. 2018, when that was over, he was now 4-6. Hadn't made a defensive team since 2014. Hadn't won an MVP since 2013. Hadn't won a scoring title since 2008. 2020, now 4-6. Hadn't been on the defensive team since 2014. Hadn't won an MVP since 2013. Hadn't won a scoring title since 2008. Now, in 2024, still the face of the league, him and his son, 4-6, done built 3 super teams, hadn't won an MVP since 2013, hasn't been on a defensive team since 2014, and built 3 super teams. This is the NBA. The NBA product that has fallen off along with ESPN, right? And they need to come up with Fox Sports to back them up on this nonsense and all these lies. I couldn't even imagine in the 90s or the 80s ESPN being like this. I think that ESPN come in the late 80s, right? But even in the 90s, in the early 2000s, ESPN being this low quality of a network. Look at the people they got today. Low quality liars. Tell me what you think.